everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. Please make sure you like and share the video. And we're about to get started in just a little bit. So you guys can hear that. You don't need no baggage. You just get on. I was guided to the song. Thought it'd be fitting. Welcome, you guys. So people get ready on a train to join. Picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Welcome, you guys. There's hope for all among us love the most. Hey, all. For the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind. Save his own. Believe me now. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. For there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people get ready. There's a train coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the Jesus humming. Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. I'm over here tearing up. I don't cry that often, except I do sometimes. You gotta forgive me. I was really touched by that right now. And mostly because it's like, it was such a guided song. There's something to being obedient, to listening to the guidance that you are receiving in your heart. And only you know what it is that you should be doing or saying. And I think that's bringing us perfectly into what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much. Hey to everybody on the replay gang. Welcome. I appreciate you guys for watching these videos and for your guys' support and whatnot. Something a little different for today. I was thinking and I was praying and kind of asking God and my ancestors, what did you want me to talk about? Welcome, you guys. Hey, was gonna make a red. Welcome, y'all. And I was just kind of asking, it's like, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to say? I have so many things that, I want to share, I want to teach. Well, happy birthday, Omega Red. Welcome. That's awesome. What are you doing to celebrate for your birthday? Let me know. Let us know. We'll have to do a happy birthday for you. But what I was saying is there's so much that I want to share and stuff, but it's like, how would I move myself out of the situation and give, the divine space to work through me? Nothing watching football. Who's your football team? Let me know. I grew up a Niners fan, and now I'm getting into the whole Vikings fandom. Welcome home. But oh, so good to see you. Good to see you. Enjoy your birthday. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, what is it? meditating, and something told me to get up and get a Bible. And so I said, okay. And I had this Bible that I got from the Dollar Tree, I think, from like maybe some time ago. And I went over to my bookshelf and I picked it up and I went like this, flip, and it came to this page. It's page 193. We are looking at Galatians chapter 4. I'm not going to read everything. There was just some things that stood out, and I felt like it was like scarily perfect to everything that I was thinking about already, and what needs to Packers, but colleges, whatever. Oh, are you watching college or professional football today? But this is what I wanted to talk about anyway. So the fact that God had directed me to this passage, I wanted to share with you guys. Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of God through Christ. Now hold on, let me get the other the other version. Let me see. Here we go. Galatians 4. I could share the screen with you guys so you can read along with me. Let's see. Let me make this bigger as we go. Perfect. All right. Okay. So we're reading, like I said, Galatians chapter 4, verse 7 through 9 first, okay? Sorry, I think the page is jumping. All right. It's so weird. Do you guys see that? Stay still. So, you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. Formerly, when you did not know God, you were slaves to those who by nature are not gods. But now that you know God, or rather are known by God, how is it that you are turning back to those weak and miserable forces? Do you wish to be enslaved by them all over again? You are observing special days and months and seasons and years. I fear for you that somehow I have wasted my efforts on you. And then it goes into, verses 19 through 31. So we're looking at this idea that we were once part of bondage, but now, what's coming next? But now we are to become heirs and to be given freedom and liberty. And chapter 5 starts like this. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty. You know what? I'm going to read this version. I keep doing it. Hold on, y'all. And then I'm going to go back to the story about Abraham. So this is very important right now, you guys. Let me switch chapters. Just give it a second to catch up. Is this glitching to you guys too? Okay. Chapter 5. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free. So it is for the freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. Verse 13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. Now, I'm going to chat about that for a second. Hey, thank you guys for those who've joined us. I'm reading these Bible verses that I was led to today, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the bondage and how understanding who my ancestors were has made me realize that, you know, they taught us about slavery in the past, but really what we are going through is a very violent, at times, colonization. And through that violence, we have been bullied and forced into contractual labor, and are now living by those laws when God intended for us to be free. If this is your first time ever tuning in, my name is Christian Stovall, the American heiress and the founder of The Fair. Like I said, when I started to research my ancestors, I found out that they weren't nameless slaves from Africa, but in fact, they were Aboriginal American royalty, and they lived here for free. And through that discovery, more and more evidence about who the Black people are here in America has, become very clear. And I mean, there's so much that could be said about that, but Spirit has really put in my heart to talk about the choices that we have to make, or that we can even make. I think that's more it. But before we get into it, I want to play the foundational video, and then we're going to continue on with the next part. And then we're going to bring it on in. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. Oh, before that, though, let me show you guys my new feather. So I've been busy these past few days. I chaperoned a field trip with my daughter, my youngest, right? And so we went to this farm, and she found this pristine, beautiful orange feather. I don't know if you guys can see. Is the light good in here? It is so beautiful. And I was like, what bird did this come from? It's like all orange. It's so gorgeous, right? And I looked it up. This is a peacock feather. And sure enough, there are these beautiful peacocks that roam the farm, the property. In fact, you know what's so weird is this is our second time going to that field trip. Last year we went when she was in TK. This year we went now in kindergarten. And last year we got to see the peacocks, and they fan their beautiful feathers. So it's like most people associate the peacock with the blue and the green iridescent feathers and stuff. When I started looking it up, I was like, peacocks, because I'm like, did that have orange feathers and stuff? In fact, I should probably look through my phone to see the pictures that I took of it from our last visit. But yes, they do. There's some with these beautiful orange plumes. So yeah, thanks Sadie for that. My little baby found this for me, and I was like, I love it. She knows I love feathers. This is such a beautiful, rare find. I've been really wanting a peacock feather too, which is cool. Thank you. All right, so let's play the video, and then I'm going to move on with it. I'm sorry if this is a little glitchy. I'm going to remove this. Let me see if I can just stop the screen. Maybe that'll help the internet. Okay. Let's see.
Who are the original Americans? History has been rewritten, but the truth remains. The Foundation for American Indian Restoration and Education, or simply the FAIR, is here to set the record straight. Our foundation is simple. The FAIR stands on its signature original American identifiers to define what an original American truly is. Our mission is to uncover the truth, reconnect descendants, and restore a lost heritage. Through our fair original American identifiers, we reveal the true identity of the original American. The emblem of America. The emblem of America is an allegorical figure from the British Museum and is noted to be an ethnic representation of the American people. So what exactly is an American? The definition of American. The 1828 Webster's Dictionary defines an American as a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginal, or copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Colonial and U.S. Census Records. Early U.S. Census records show that for the first 70 years, only two racial categories existed: colored and white. Who were these colored people? The fair asserts that they were the original inhabitants of this land. DNA. Ancestry.com DNA analysis labels the only communities for the region of indigenous North America as either African American or European settler. Surprisingly, there aren't any Native American communities listed for these lands, leaving the African American communities, the only ones given the nationality American, proving that those labeled as African American today are the true original Americans. Your ancestry holds the key. The fair encourages everyone to research their genealogy, connect with historical records, and rediscover their true roots. Every generation carries a piece of the story, one that deserves to be reclaimed. Join us in reclaiming history. Visit the fair today. Connect with your roots and restore your identity.
Hey, what's good, Big Creed Money? Welcome, you guys. So yes, that's the foundation. We are founded on the definition of American from the Webster's Dictionary 1828 that states that the original Americans were considered Aboriginal or copper-colored races, okay, found here by the Europeans, but now the term American is referred to Europeans born, European descendants born here in America. And this ties back to the census records. Okay, since we're talking about free, I was reading these Bible verses about liberty and about free, and we're going to get into the story about Abraham in just a second. But part of the foundation is to look at the census records and realize that it's like this whole story that they taught us about slavery in Africa and all these things were lies to get us into the system today. And the crazy part about it is we were already here. We were the free inhabitants. Even to look at the word saying free inhabitants, people don't know that even since the inception of the census records that there were free people of color. We're about to get into the African proverb in just a second. So yes, did you know that during the first 70 years of the U.S. Census, there were only two categories for race and ethnicity? Those options were colored or Negro and white, okay? So we're looking 1790, just black and white, just like the Ancestry.com information that we're sharing through the fair as well, that, right now, the only DNA that ties to the lands from Oklahoma going east are African American communities and European settler communities. Always just been black and white, colored and white, no coloreds allowed, that sort of thing, okay? But what we're finding out is that the colored people have always been here, and we were actually free. And so the reason why all of this is coming up is because, as I've mentioned before, I'm involved in many different things, groups here in my community. And the other night it was posed to us this to give our thoughts on this African proverb. And so I'm going to share the proverb with you, and then I'm going to give you guys the thoughts that were given to me about this. It says, there are no shortcuts to the top of the palm tree. And, the meaning, all right, is when is up to interpretation, right? But I think most people would get from it that it's like, you have to do the work. You can't make any shortcuts if you're trying to get to the top, right? Or to whatever goal that you set. And what I started to think about this is like, it made me think of a lot of things. Like, well, what is at the top of the palm tree? Okay. Well, are there fruit on the palm tree? Is this a coconut palm tree? What is it that we really are trying to do? And the metaphor wasn't lost on me. I think it was just, I need to further explain what that means on the flip side. Okay. Because, even giving questions like that, like if we're trying to get the fruit, then no, we don't have to make shortcuts, but maybe we can create a picker to get it down. If it is about getting to the top, then what's really at that top that we want to get to, right? And if we're going to look at it as in like, okay, what if it's just life? What people need to do to get to that top? What is that top? You know what I mean? Are we really taking time to think about what it is that we are striving for as people, as humanity, you know what I mean, as a society? Or is it that the parameters have already been set on how we are to live and operate and go about things, and you just figure out the best way within that system, okay? And, I started to think, they teach us that, you want to go to school, get a job so that you can pay your bills, right? And feed your family and have a home, right? And I started to think, okay, so if that's what's at the top of this tree, we're doing all of these things, right? There's no shortcuts to get to this end job, right? I started to think, well, what if we don't really necessarily need to do the job. We want homes. We want food, right? We want freedom, right? We want, because even still, it's like we're doing all this and we don't spend enough time with our families. What is it that's important to us? Maybe the top of what if what we're striving for could be, okay, so that we can create stronger communities, so that we can have time to not only love one another, but to heal. What is it that we really want? And sometimes we'll find out that the systems that were set in place for us were just part of this enslavement, the entrapping, the bondage that the Bible even talks about. So part of that chapter 4 was the story of Hagar in slavery versus Sarah in freedom. This is a message by John Piper from Desire God. I can list these for you guys too. I want to share it. Hey, what's good, George Richard? Welcome. We got Huntsville, Alabama in the house. All right. I'm just going to read it because every time I share the screen, it starts to glitch a little. So it says, "Tell me, you who desire to be under law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, one by a slave and one by a free woman. But the son of the slave was born according to the flesh, the son of the free woman through promise." Now this is an allegory. These women are 2 covenants. One is from Mount Sinai, bearing children for slavery. She is Hagar. Now Hagar, no, I'm going to skip the part. So it says, "For she is in slavery with her children, but in Jerusalem above is free, and she is her mother, for it is written." It says, "Now we, brethren, like Isaac, are children of promise. But as at that time, he who was born according to the flesh persecuted him who was born according to the Spirit. So it is now. But what does the scripture say? It says, 'Cast out the slave and her son, for the son of the slave shall not inherit with the son of the free woman.' So, brethren, we are not children of the slave, but of the free woman." And now this is why it's so important for us to know exactly who we are. And this is why it's dangerous for them to keep teaching us that we are of another land and that we are just here solely for our slave labor. And that now we better just be happy that they're not kicking our ass sorry, and excuse my language, okay? That they're not kicking our butts, you know what I mean? And we can do our jobs in peace. Because when we have that mentality, all we're worried about is trying to make or navigate a system that we are never supposed to live under. The truth is, we, Black America, we are actually the sons and daughters of the free inhabitants of this land. And that it's okay for us to dream outside of the system that was built to profit off of our labor and our time. That we don't have to play these games. That we could just do what's best for us. And that goes for all of humanity. But I think the real question would be, who are you a child of? You know, the other day was Indigenous Peoples Day. And I was like, shouldn't everybody on this earth claim to have their indigenous roots? Where are you from if not from the earth? And that's because through the mixture and the colonization of our minds, okay, of colonial powers, we have decided to cast away our free mothers so that we can take on the bondage and the debt, okay, of this corporation. I had some notes. And because of our close proximity to people who have chosen and adopted those ways of life, and mind you, it's not too late to say that, maybe I want different for my life. Maybe I'm tired of living in the system and not getting much out of it, being so tired, being sick, and not even having the freedom or the dignity to be able to rest, to heal yourself. Because of our close proximity to the bonds people, we are oftentimes embarrassed to say we are done. And many of our men and women who have dedicated their lives to navigating and surviving these systems that we've never had to live within, sometimes feel like the idea of freedom makes their work obsolete, when it's the contrary. We'll continue to need these pathways as we dream of new ways of life, where we will surely need their brilliance and heart. But if we are scared to turn away, let me go first. I, Christian Stovall, say that as an original woman of this earth, am not a bondswoman of these false systems, and am free and clear of any debts, contracts, or obligations that hinder me from living freely as God intended me to live. And how do we make that real and so for everyone? Because I realize that it's like the only reason why people are so hell-bent on sticking to systems that have not only proven to not work, right, but were literally built to keep us entrapped. The only reason why people want to even do these things is because of bills. We gotta pay these bills, okay? And Black people more than anybody believe in the bills, and will shame you if you're not doing what you got to do to pay the bills. But what is it that we really need? Right? We need homes. We need food, warmth, light, things that can also be provided by Mother Earth through wind, solar. We can not only become architects and carpenters and engineers and things like that, but we can also dream our people and people, humanity in general, though. Because it's like, I say this because I'm had this revelation about, Black America, and that is who my ancestors have asked me to bring the light to, as far as this is for our restoration. But humanity overall is being awarded this message. And us as a people, humanity, we're brilliant. We can imagine better, faster, more efficient ways to build homes. Better, faster, more efficient ways to be able to harness energy from sun and wind and water and whatever. We can create free societies and cities where people can love and do what they are actually passionate about. That their talents and their drive and will for what God has put them on this earth to do isn't valued by how much money that they can make. That everybody would be fed and happy and healthy. And that if you're called to heal, you don't have to go through insurance systems and healthcare scams to be able to fix and heal the sick and injured people. It's really giving Jasara and Asara, and that all debts have been forgiven. And that people would have to come together to say that, especially us as Black Americans, who at a time right now, if we could gather our strength, our body politic, we could renegotiate the contract. We can do things that will truly benefit our lives. We can reclaim our birthright that our ancestors had stolen from them. Hey, you guys, welcome. Hey, Kaye, welcome, Red Star. I didn't want this to be too long, you guys, because I do have to get going. So yes, we would have to eliminate bills. Okay, that could be part of the renegotiation. And immediately release the people from financial obligations. Essentially, we'd have to band together and tell the establishment to let our people go. So that was the channel message for this morning and today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we're living in the Jubilee year. Last winter, the former Pope, the one that passed earlier this year, had declared that this is a Jubilee year. The Jubilee year is the year that all slaves are given back their property and are to be freed, okay? And It's fine. It's okay. Hey, Lori Hawk. Welcome, welcome. We got a Pequot Indian in the house. Welcome, you guys. Um, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about how we're going to have to come together. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I have this. So on that field trip, this is reminding me of it. They were these birds. I still haven't gotten to. I forgot about that. I'm just now thinking about them again. But there were these birds that were in this tree, and they were singing together. It was so loud. Let me see if I can find some of these recordings. Little roller group was like, "Let's go." Let me see. Where are we? This is the tree they were sitting in, or one of them. There was all these little black birds in there, and like it was so loud you can hear it from like down the road a little bit. And that's the other thing that I've been thinking about is like we need to have uniform messages. Like everybody who's talking about this needs to be saying the same exact thing to make our voices loud enough, because it's like we're gonna have to do this huge outreach. And I've been because I think that's the other part. It's one thing to be idealistic and think like, okay, it should be simple. All we have to do is stand on the facts, and make a declaration to correct the wrongs and whatnot, which is true. It is. Like Spirit keeps saying that it's like, you guys have no clue how much power you hold, okay, as far as a nation. But it's like another thing. I think a lot of what makes people a little hesitant to want to, as the song said, and I think we're going to end it on that again because it was really, timely, to just hop on board. You don't need a ticket. You just have to have God's faith. Okay. Hop on board. Is because it's like, we're used to wanting to do things that are practical, what can be done. Okay. And I'm still thinking about, how to practically launch this outreach campaign so that we can get on one page and, we can, correct this history and reclaim our positions as the original people of this land. We was here first. All right. That's another part. I will provide the link. Now you can watch the play. It's on fairrules.org. I wrote and directed and, was in a play called We Was Here First. And we premiered it through the San Francisco International Arts Festival this past May. And that's now available on the website if you guys are looking forward or wanting to see kind of how I'm telling my family story. And, if you want to continue to empower this message and support the fair, you guys can make donations on fairrules.org. If you guys just want to send me a message, please leave a comment under here, or, message me at theamericanheiress@protonmail.com. And I'm gonna leave it there. Let's listen to the music. I might pull a card for everybody. Just one thing. Oh, that's what I should be doing. Sorry, you guys. And I will lighten it up too, but it's like, these first messages, I'm feeling so, and I'll be honest, it's like, God, what? All right, you know what I mean? Let's go. But it's also like all of us, we want to just, get by. We don't want to sound crazy or different, but, some of these ways that we have fallen into didn't have to be permanent. And we didn't realize that we might have fallen into traps. And it's okay to say, hey, no, you know what I mean? That's not the best way that we should be going about things. It's okay to think differently. It's okay to expand our mind. It's okay to question why we're being asked to do certain things. What is it that we really, really want? Okay. And so, that's part of it. I want to share with everybody this, what we're standing on over here, and we'll continue to pick up people like on this train. Okay. This is People Get Ready by the Impressions. One more time, okay? What?
People get ready as a train to come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on. All you need is faith to the dealers come. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
You don't need no ticket, just thank the Lord. We have to have faith, we have to have gratitude. Say thank you, God.
So people get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the door.
Wow.
There's hope for all.
This is amazing, guys. Alright, y'all know I can't read and listen at the same time. So we'll listen to the second half after this, okay? So it says, it's safe for you to receive, okay? The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. Ooh, we're opening our arms, we're receiving, okay. This is beautiful. Welcome. The one on the bottom says employment change. So we're just talking about the jobs and stuff like that. And mind you, nobody's saying that people are just, there's tons of stuff to do. But the fact that we are being ushered, and even our children, into these systems where it's like to give our lives to these companies, these organizations that really don't care about us and is keeping us from spending quality time with our loved ones. What is the whole entire point? Is it to get home? Is it to, you know what I mean? Is it to eat? What can we figure out other ways to do that? And, right, how do we restore the situation so that we can, something's telling me to go back to this too, so that we can rely on the land again, okay? So it says employment change, right? It says your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. One second. Okay, I'm wrapping this up. So it says, trust that these changes will help you release the old and welcome the new. Okay, so there's something about releasing old ways of thinking so that we can welcome the new. Again, with opening your arms, right? Did that just say this on this one too? Open your arms, yeah. Open your arms to receive. Yeah, release the old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way, okay? We have do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you're being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden, okay? This is going right along with it. It's like, okay, now we know what to do. We have to get going, okay? With declutter, which I've been doing all week. if this is a huge time to get rid of things you don't need. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Okay, and that goes along with the freedom. You know what I mean? Our schedule is so cluttered with all of these other tasks when it's like, what really should we be focusing on? Okay, unlimited ideas. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas. Guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need to do is take divinely guided action to allow these ideas to come to fruition, okay? So I feel like it's a pretty strong reading. We shall resume the song, and then I'm going to log off. Or no, I'm going to log off right now. I love you guys so much. So you're knocking. I will see you guys all very soon. Please, you guys, like I said, like, share the video. Comment. Let me know how you guys are doing, and I'll see you later. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Omega Red. I'll see you guys soon. Much love, you guys.
Long before the first European ships arrived, the original Americans lived, thrived, and built civilizations across these lands. But history has stripped them of their identity, their land, and even their nationality. Who are the original Americans? The answer should be clear, yet for centuries, their identity has been erased, rewritten, and denied. We stand to change that. Our foundation is built to uplift, protect, and restore the rights of the original Americans. With our fair original American identifiers, we help reclaim what was lost, ensuring that recognition, rights, and resources reach those who rightfully deserve them. It's time to honor the past, fight for the present, and build the future. Join the movement. Reclaim the truth. Support the original Americans.